Hi, my name's Claire and I'm going to be your support worker today. So if you just want to follow me, we'll go into the sitting room here and I just need to ask you some questions if you want to follow me. And take a seat. So as I said, my name's Claire and I'm here to support you throughout the whole time that you're here in the SARC today. The examination will take place and the examiner will come down in a minute and tell you a bit about that. But what's important for you to know is that you're in control of everything that happens to you in here today. It's literally the first step of you getting your power back after what's happened. So I'm going to ask you a few questions just to go through a few bits and pieces. We need to do it. It's just generic information about name, address, phone number, date of birth, that kind of thing. And a basic medical history, some things about your gender and sexual orientation, things like that. I'm not going to ask you to disclose details to me about the incident, but I will have to ask you one or two questions. But you've already given your first account to the police and the examiner will go into a bit more detail with that with you. And when I've done that, I'll just need to ask you to sign. It's basically just a disclaimer. All the information that I'm collecting from you today is it's going to be stored here in the SARC. We won't disclose any of the information without your permission. With regard to confidentiality and things like that, you become a number when you come into the SARC. So your name doesn't appear anywhere on any of our paperwork except this. So you get your own unique reference number, and that is the reference number that is used moving forward on your samples that go to the police and everything like that. So your name's not going to be anywhere, it's completely confidential. I'll just explain a little bit about the aftercare services before we go into the exam, and then when the exam's finished I'll go into more detail about it. But what we can do is refer you to the ISFA service, which is the Independent Sexual Violence Advisors, and we work with them through victim support. And they are there for all emotional support and practical support, whether you need, you have to move out of your home or anything like that. They'll be able to help you with everything during the process of this going on with the police. We can also refer you to sexual health, and we always recommend that you do go and have a sexual health appointment. They will get in contact with you direct, and then the appointment is for about 2 weeks because it takes 2 weeks for the any symptoms of any STIs to come through. We can send a generic letter to your GP just to let you know, to let them know that you've been here. It doesn't mention any details of what's happened. It literally says you've been to the Bridgeway regarding an incident, and we've referred you to the services that you're happy for us to refer you to. So if you need to contact your GP, it'll be on your records and they know that you'll need an appointment. So as I said before, you're in complete control of everything that happens to you in this building. So if you need to take a break, if you need to go out for a cigarette or get some fresh air or anything, you just let me know and we can pop outside. It's really all about you, and you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. It's just, we're here to support you going through the process to get as much forensic evidence as we can. But you're in control, and you can stop at any time that you want to.
Hi, my name's Donna. I'm the examiner that's on today. I'm a nurse and I'll be doing the examination with Claire, the crisis worker that you just met. I've been upstairs with the police officer. They've given me an account of what's happened today. I don't need you to repeat that, and I won't be expecting you to repeat anything that you've said. What I will do though is just go through what they've said so you can clarify it. If there's anything that you don't understand or anything you remember that's different, fine, just let me know and I'll write it down, and then I can let the police person know upstairs. If you want the friend to come in the examination room with you, that's perfectly fine. If you don't, then we can put them in sitting room 2. We've got the initial details of what's happened. The police first came out to you. I believe they took a urine sample off you and the mouth rinse, is that right? You're saying that there wasn't any drink or drugs involved, and that's fine, but if you still want to take the blood, we can do. But really, it's more for if there was something you thought had happened that you weren't remembering, and it made you feel different to what you normally would feel if you had some drink. So before we go any further, obviously, we're going to take these samples for you. We've discussed with the police officer, you know, the best samples that we can get off you, and if you're willing to do them, which you said you are. I now have to go through a consent form for you that you need to sign. This examination itself, it will include like a full medical history. We're going to collect forensic or medical specimens, and that again is like any samples that we take from you. Now, the samples are on the outside of your body, so if there's any chance you remember whether you touched the outside, you know, your skin on a skin-to-skin basis. If there's any chance there's any bruises or injuries, I can also take pictures of those. Those are purely for evidential purposes. You aren't called by name on that disc, you have a unique reference number given to you, and that's what we store the DVDs under. We would only release those on the court order of a judge. Examination can be halted at any time, at any part, so if there's something that you don't want to do, or you're not sure about and you want questions, or if you want a break, just let us know, me or the crisis worker, and we'll stop. So what will happen now is Claire, the crisis worker will come back in, she'll show you where to get changed in the bathroom, and then we'll go into the examination room and I'll just show you the setup in there, go through these other bits of questions, and we do your height and weight. So we finish the paperwork now. So you say that at the time it happened, you grabbed the top of your arm and really pulled you. So if we can have a look now. So we look at it like that. So you've got 3 or 4 little bruises here where somebody's gone like that, we think. I can't say that's what's happened, but that's what's been reported. So we would look at measuring them on here, and then I could see what the colour scale was. And then we do that all over the body in parts if you think you've got bruises. I do a top to tail, so even if you've got a bruise that you remember happened the day before because the dog jumped on you, that's fine. We'll just monitor that, put it on the, we'll note that, we'll put it on the body map, but we'll state not relevant to this assault. So now, if you don't mind, we'll go onto the bed. Please just tell Claire to stop if I'm concentrating. You've had the examination now, so if you want to get down off the bed, I've got to stay and do all the bagging and tagging and these swabs now, but once you've had a shower, the crisis worker will come and talk to you, get you a drink, and then discuss aftercare.
So if you just want to come with me, I'm going to just go through your aftercare. So now that you've had your shower and everything, if you want a cup of tea or coffee or biscuits, crisps, if you're hungry, I can get you something to eat and something to drink, and then we'll just go through the aftercare that I started to explain before. The form that I would ask you to sign is literally a consent form for sharing information with the aftercare services. So as we spoke about before, there's the sexual health clinic, the ISVA service and the GP. With regard to the ISVA service, that's probably the most important referral that we'll make for you, because as I mentioned before, they are there for all of the practical and emotional support that you're going to need throughout this process and moving forward. So once you've come to terms with what's happened and they've helped you, they can help you with all practical stuff with regard to accommodation and things like that, and moving forward they'll be able to refer you to our specialist counselling services that we have a partnership with within Cumbria. So all the services are local, and it doesn't end here. The ISFAs will be your right-hand man, woman, moving forward. So don't think that just when you walk out the door, that's the end. And they will be, once we make the referral, they'll be in contact with you within 48 hours. We just need to wait for the examiner to pass on all of the samples and everything to the police, and then you'll be free to go.